What's going on, guys? It's Will Blending. I apologize now. The video's gonna go in and out as far as blurry color, because every time I do a video on a sunny day, you're gonna get that glare in the video. So I'm just apologizing ahead of time. Today I'm just basically gonna go on a rant and see where it takes me, because I know what my plans are, and I know to convince you guys to further buy products and services from me in the future, I have to prove my point. And that means I'm going to have to go out and become financially smart, financially better, build a business, the holding company, actually fund the business. So I'm going to have to figure out a more effective side hustle now that I'm no longer really doing Uber and Lyft. Oh yeah, recently I decided to just stop driving Uber or Lyft just for the sake of my car's health. It's that serious. Like, I feel like my car is literally just gonna break down if I continue doing Uber or Lyft, where all the rides you're getting are 15 and 20 minutes away. Because that's what's happening right now. Because the demand is so low, so high, I should say, and there's less drivers. There's less physical drivers available to drive Uber and Lyft right now. So every ride I was getting was 15 to 20 minutes away, and sometimes I don't even stop to check how far they're going, but 9 out of 10 they're only going like 5 minutes away. So you travel 20 minutes to pick somebody up to go 5 minutes. So therefore, for my car's sake, health, well-being, whatever you want to call it, I decided I can no longer do Uber and Lyft. Not full-time anyway. I'm considering doing it on the weekend so I can make, but the money that I make, it just pisses me off, because a little bit of money I make, it's going to go right back into the car. So it's almost like it's not making me any richer. So what I have to do is ramp up all my online activities, which is very hard to do because I got to deal with life at my regular job. I'm going through some training now to be medically certified to give medications. So that's on my brain right now, on top of trying to build this holding company so perfectly that one day I will never need to work again. And I'm trying to do it before I turn 50. So, which ain't that long, guys. I shouldn't even be telling my age, but I'm 49. So that means I gotta really kick it into gear, and do what I gotta do to at least be, I don't even want to say financially free, because that's a higher scale for me. I would say where I can live comfortably on my online sales. Comfortably to me would be $5,000 a month. Doesn't sound like a lot, neither. $5,000 a month just from my online sales. Not my job or anything else, but just on my online sales, I can live actually comfortably right now, and I will qualify for most loans, because that's all they want to see is $5,000 a month coming in. If you have a steady holding company and you have $5,000 a month going in steady, bam. Well, it may fluctuate, goes up, goes down. It can even go down a little bit. Let's say the 4,998 something, and then goes up, a little bit over the $5,000. If you do that on a consistent basis in a business account for your holding company, you will be guaranteed to get any business loan you need. So, combined with all my stuff right now, I'm probably only making $3,000 a month. So I have to really figure out a way to make some quicker cash. And one way that I'm thinking of is I'm actually going to do a holding company course based around what I'm doing, fixing my credit, building a holding company. And then from that course, I should be able to adjust my salary according to what I charge for that course. And this is going to be a fully loaded course. I mean, this is going to be like me. This is the equivalent of you guys writing a book, a 500-page book that can get people's attention and keep their attention. That's going to be how much of me I'm going to pour into this course. And the reason why I'm going to put so much into it and start off the price lower, I'm going to start low and go high, which a lot of companies like to start high and go low. And the reason why I want to do that is you got to test the market. You got to put it out there, test the market. If it starts selling like crazy let's say I start off the price at $100. If it starts selling like crazy at $100, I should be able to slowly move up the price of the course. Not quickly, say every 6 months, I can move the course up maybe $50 and cap it off at, say, $300. So by the time I've sold that course, I would have made over $100,000 a year just on that course. And I have a new way to fund revenue into my holding company. So now what I would probably do is start building a new course. This first course is going to be based on the holding company, building the perfect holding company. But it's going to involve so much more. We're going to talk about personal credit repair, not so much business credit repair, because I feel like you never should really need to worry about fixing a business credit, even though there are people out there that can help you do it, because you could just start another company and build a credit on that. It's so much easier. So you never need to worry about business credit repair. So personal credit repair, trade lines. Eventually we got to talk about trade lines, because I'm going to need some trade lines, because the company I'm involved with, Z Integrity, Z Black Card, I thought that they were going to be known for their trade lines, and that's the one sector of the company that didn't pan out. So we're going to be talking about what trade lines I'm going to find to give my credit that quick jump. I need a quick jump and credit building, and trade lines are a good way to do it. I've got a couple of mine. I've got a couple of trade lines of mine that I'm thinking about locking down. And then you'd be surprised what one, say, $10,000 trade line could do to your credit, personal and business. I mean, your credit could go from 600 to 750 with the right trade line and credit repair. So this stuff is all doable. I'm working with the people right now and going through the credit repair. And I'm setting up the holding company right now. So those are the steps I'm taking right now. But along that journey, while I wait for all that stuff to unfold, I have to find a way to fund this holding company. And the way of doing that is setting up operating companies. You're going to set up operating companies under your holding company, but you got to put money in those. And those could be, network marketing, affiliate marketing, Uber, Lyft. You got to find a way outside of your job to fund those companies, or at least one company. And I just told you one of the ways that I'm going to go about funding my company, my holding company. First, it'll go to an operating company, should I have business, and then from that operating company, the money is going to flow up. You keep, say, 10% in that bank account. The rest flows up to your holding company. From the holding company, you take a small percentage to pay yourself. Let's say I get to the point where I've steadily figured a way to make $5,000 a month be funneled into my holding company. I'm only going to pay myself about $3,000 a month out of that $5,000. You always want to keep money in your company as you're doing this. So as you're slowly scaling your money up in your business, then you can slowly creep up the amount you pay yourself. You can't get greedy with this. You can't. You got to keep the numbers down. And remember, if you're doing this right, you still have your job. Don't quit your job yet. Don't quit your job until I say you're literally making double what you can make at your job. So if you're making less than $2,000 a month at your job, but your business, you found a way to fund your business through, say, a network marketing company, $5,000 a month, you know, boom, okay, I can quit my job now. And it's coming in steady. You got to give it 2-3 months to see if it's steady. Then you could quit your job. When after 3 months of steady flow of, say, $5,000 a month, and then you still got some side hustles going, I say, yeah, then maybe you can quit your job. I quit my job so prematurely when I got started doing business that it was such a big mistake, because that business struggled. And it was this one. It was Shania business. When I first established it, I went through a lot of struggles because I didn't have this holding company and structure with the credit repair involved. I knew about credit repair, and I actually had decent credit, but the mistakes I made was using credit to keep my business going. I was using business credit to keep my business going, which was a mistake. I should have come up with a company that is funded in cash, only use business credit as a backup. That was my mistake. A lot of you guys are going to get involved with business, start establishing some business credit, and then start spending your business credit like crazy. That's not what I want for you. I want you to build the business credit or the corporate credit, but I don't want you to use it unless absolutely necessary. I'll give you an example. Let's say you want to go in and you want to buy a property. Let's say a $200,000 property, but because your business is actually bringing in some cash, you have $20,000 in the bank, cash. I would say spend part of the cash as a down payment, get a loan, put not all your money. A lot of people put all the money in, just put about $10,000 in cash down on the property, take out a loan, and you only use your corporate credit if you need to do repairs. And you're going to need to do some repairs. You might have to put some flooring in, you know, scratch, dent, new looking appliances. That's when you deploy the credit. And you can slowly pay those off. You know, you may spend $2,000 in, say, business credit to fix up an apartment, and it make all the difference in the world. You could charge another $100 a month more every month. That's what I say business credit should be used for. I didn't think like that just 2 years ago. Unfortunately, I'm just getting that message after losing thousands of dollars. You know, I didn't know how to handle money like I know how to handle money now. So I'm ready to take on partners now. I made a lot of mistakes because I had to learn how to handle money myself first. And unfortunately, I had to lose a lot to learn that lesson. So you found a way you can fund your holding company. You could go after any type of cash loan you need. And the reason why I say we're going to use those cash loans, say from the banks and stuff like that, is only to buy more real estate. You never want to get in debt unless it's debt that's going to bring you in some money later. And we're in a pandemic. The cost of properties and cars is going to drop so dramatically, it's going to be crazy. There's going to be cars and houses everywhere. So I'm trying to wait. I'm trying to be patient and wait for that to happen. But in less than 6 months, when my credit is back to what it used to be, it's going to be so tempting to go out and get a loan right away. And I may take out a small cash loan just to give me some influx of cash and get things rolling faster. I know what I said, don't use credit unless absolutely necessary. But because we're in a pandemic and I'm struggling, it kind of is an emergency. So, but here's how I would pay off the loan. And if I take out my personal name, here's how I would get it paid off. The company that's building my holding company, they only guarantee $20,000 in spendable corporate credit. Corporate credit meaning credit that you don't even have to guarantee with your social security number. That's all they're guaranteeing. You could get more, but that's what they're guaranteeing. So I may take out a loan for, say, $20,000 just to have an influx of cash, but I would keep that money in the holding company. I would pay off what I need to pay off, which probably the only thing I'd want to pay off is this vehicle I'm in. Pay that off, put all the rest in the holding company. And the reason why I put it in my holding company and not my personal account is that's where I'm going to store all my non-deployed money. Keep in your actual holding company. And don't forget, you can start payroll. So now I would start payroll and have a check cut to myself as an employee. But I'll keep it very small. Keep it small as possible. Probably just enough to pay off some taxes and maybe, a personal medical account I may set up. Keep it that small. Maybe $200 a week. So say there's 10 grand in there, start doing payroll, but deploy every way possible to continue funding on top of that loan money sitting in there. Continue trying to funnel money in there. Remember, you want to get about $5 grand a month going into your holding company. It doesn't matter how many operating companies you have underneath it. You can have, let's say, 3 operating companies. They're not making a lot. They're only making $2 grand a month. Let's say all 3 are only making $2 grand a month. Send half to your holding company. Send 50%. I would say sometimes more. I would probably say more. If it's only $2 grand in there, I would say send about $1,500 up to your holding company. Each of those companies. And continue funneling your holding company, because your holding company is going to be what pays you your check. Now you got your job check and you got this extra $200 a week coming in. Remember, you really don't even need to spend that $200 a week extra, because everything's going to be in your business name. So your business is going to be paying off your car, which for me, I'm going to eventually put the car under the operating company, not the holding company, but have a way to write off the car. under the operating company. Let's say I'll use Chennai Business as an example. Chennai Business is an operating company under my holding company. You never want your holding company to do business directly with anybody, so it never could be sued. So you have your operating company that's doing business with somebody. So I'll start putting stuff in, say, Chennai Business, because that's the first operating company. There may be more coming, but that's the first operating company. So I put all my money in there first. That goes up, a large balance goes up to the holding company. And then I take my check weekly from the holding company. Probably an S corporation with anonymity, so nobody even knows that that's my holding company. I don't care if you know the Chennai Business is mine, because it doesn't matter. What you don't want is people to know who owns your holding company. And the way they can set that up is so nobody even knows it's your company. And all your operating companies, if they look those up, they should only come up with information from your holding company. Now with this original tax ID, if you looked up Chennai Business, it would show I'm the owner, because that was the old way I set it up. But I'm going to get a new tax ID and restructure it under my holding company. So when you look up that new tax ID number, it's going to show that it's owned by my holding company. So if you come after the old Chennai Business with the old tax ID, you're not going to see any assets. Even if you see me as the owner, you're not going to see any assets, and you're probably going to be like, okay, we can't sue this Chennai Business. It's a different tax ID, and there's no assets. And this company's dissolved under that old LLC anyway. So if you look it up, you'll see it's dissolved. I'll have my new Chennai Business. You can keep the same name, but the new one under the new tax ID is now owned by my holding company, which will have assets. It'll probably have my first property, and then it may have my operating vehicle. But that Chennai Business I consider my media company, and I may have those two assets under Chennai Business. Or I may actually structure a new LLC to hold those assets separately from Chennai Business. That's probably the better way to do it. Start a brand new small little management LLC. Use that to like manage the property you're gonna move into, and then put that one vehicle also in that LLC. So that's probably the way I'm gonna go. And now, Chennai Business, you can actually have as the tenant in that home. Chennai Business could be the actual tenant, paying all the bills and everything else in the actual home, but it pays the company that's holding the house, and then the company holding the house pays me. This is all the loopholes you got to take so the government sees you're doing everything legitimate, you know what I mean? Yeah, you could just put money in any account, but then it doesn't look legit, and you want the government to think you're legit. You can't, I hang out with a lot of ghetto people, and sometimes they think I can continue doing shit ghetto. You can't. You gotta start thinking corporate. I'm from the ghetto, but I no longer think ghetto. You gotta start thinking corporate if you want to be treated the proper way in this country and still make a decent amount of money. You got to stay corporate. If you got to funnel this account to this account, so what? That's what you got to do. So that's probably what I would do. I would actually, have the assets owned under that LLC, the new LLC, but have Chennai Business, say leasing a car from that company, leasing a house from that company. You can set up a lease agreement from one company to the other. I can actually register the car and everything under Chennai Business. You know, or I can actually register the car under that LLC that's holding the assets, and then have Chennai Business simply just set up a lease agreement with that company. So when people look up the car and that home, they will see that corporation name, and then Chennai Business just has a separate contract to use and to lease these vehicles from the house and the vehicle from that company, where that company makes a little bit of money in between. I may do it that way. It's actually a good way to do it. And in between, that company may only be making like $100, but that's fine. It'll be making $100 off of Chennai Business, me leasing the property and the car. And over time, you can just use that company to manage that property. So the tenants pay, when the tenants pay their monthly payment, they're going to be paying it to that new LLC. Not just Chennai Business and not to me. You want to have layers. So if you get sued, they got to go through so many layers to sue you or take anything from you. And I love that. Maybe because I do hang around ghetto people that I'm always thinking of a way to shield myself. You know? And preferably do all this stuff before you get married. Trust me. You know, I know I'm getting older, but I'm not married yet, but I feel that it may happen one day. And I want to have all this stuff in place with provisions that they can't take any of my stuff away to satisfy any marital stuff. This is why you want to set this stuff up early. If you under 30, set this stuff up. Under 30, not married, try to set this stuff up before you get married, before you have kids. Because sometimes all you gotta do is have a kid with a chick and she can get half. So set this stuff up before, and you can even say I'm CEO, which is true. But in a real corporate structure, the CEO is not the owner. He's just one of the officers that runs the company. So you can tell your wife, yes, I'm CEO, I run the company, but I still got to answer to a board of directors, which is true. But the board of directors, she doesn't know, is still you, or you and two other people, whatever. You have to really answer to a board of directors. I know me, I'm going to have one corporate entity eventually, and I will probably make my daughter on the board of directors because I trust her judgment that much. So I probably would put her on the board of directors and actually pay her a salary. And she's very intelligent. I got lucky. I got a daughter that's probably way more intelligent than I am. So call it dumb luck. So I can actually put her on the board of directors and know, okay, if I answer to her, she's going to give me the right answer. She's going to tell me, she'll still call me Dad. Dad, maybe you're spending a little bit too much money right here. Or if I want to just spend some money on some young chick I just met, I got to answer to her. That is a good way of keeping yourself in line, because I'm not married, I don't have a wife, so I don't really have anybody to answer to. But I would love to answer to my daughter, who's very responsible. So she's going to give me the right answer when it comes to business. Let's say I want to do something dumb, like put some young girl in some condo, but I got to go answer to my board of directors, which is her. She's not going to let that happen. She's like, whoa, Dad, nope, I'm not letting you do it. And shutting that down. a good way to manage your company. You got to make yourself accountable. And that was one of the mistakes I made, not making my own self accountable. And then I started making mistakes, but I really didn't have to answer to nobody. I mean, I answered to my brother, but I didn't. Like, it wasn't like I went to him and be like, yeah, I want to go do this. And he said no. I need somebody that's occasionally going to say no and give me the right decision for that business situation. I'm sorry about that. I went on a tangent a little bit and just kept rambling, but I want you guys to understand the power of how you could build a successful holding company, fund it, and actually become successful. And particularly with people like myself that grew up in the projects, we're going to be very skeptical. And I get that. I really do. I get it. So that's the reason why the only way to prove it to you guys is to actually do it myself. I have to do it myself. Along the way, I would love to bring along some people so I can have some testimonies. But even if I don't ever meet any perfect partners, I already have my own holding company, guys. I'm going to have my own S-Corp holding company that even if I do partner with somebody, it's going to be my S-Corp holding company that's going to do business with them. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be me doing business with these people. So let's say I become into a partnership with you. We're probably going to set up an LLC, and Will Blandon is not going to be your partner on that LLC. I would have my holding company be the partner with you. And I'm probably going to recommend that you do the same. You have an S corporation, so you only do taxes for your S corporation. That partnership will have to do taxes as well, but you're going to get all your savings on your taxes from your S Corp holding company. Or that money, anything that partnership profits, part of that money is going to go to your holding company, which is going to pay you. So you only need to take a check from one company, and that's your holding company. And by doing it this way, it kind of shields you from lawsuits. Now, let's say your partner that you have on that LLC, let's say she didn't get her own holding company to partner with you. She did it in her own name. And let's say that company gets sued. It's going to be a lot easier for them to sue that partner than it is me, because she did it in her own name. So she's going to be personally liable for mistakes she made in that company, where I will be shielded.